Hello and welcome to a new live stream. I'm Luna
I'm Nick.
and we are the Nomad Citello. Every month we bring you the latest from Venice to help you plan your visit. And now we're going to talk about what to expect in September. So let's see what's on the menu. All right. So today we're going to talk again about the Enjoy and Respect Venice campaign. We're going to talk about the bus and tram system from Venice to other places in the mainland. And then the Film Festival 2025 is arriving to Venice next week. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about other events and take your questions. Feel free to put your questions in the chat and add them as a comment if you're watching this after it's published. And so we will do our best to answer all of your questions. Let's start from Enjoy and Respect Venice, the campaign from the city of Venice to educate visitors about the rules when visiting Venice. So some of the most important rules that you need to remember is to walk on the right, don't stand on bridges or walkways, don't block traffic, and don't walk bicycles. Bicycles are not allowed, as well as scooters and other means of transportation around Venice. So, another important thing is to not have picnics. Don't stop to eat on steps, banks, bridges. There are rest areas. You will find the map in the description of the video. And so take a moment to plan your visit around that as well. Don't camp, don't put up a tent in the middle of Venice, as some people unfortunately have in the past. Do not dive nor swim in the water. You don't want to touch that water, even just to dangle your feet in the canals. That's not healthy for you, and it's also forbidden by the city. And on that theme, do not walk around in swimwear. Always be respectful, even in your clothing. Especially, I will say, if you're planning on visiting churches, remember you have to have your shoulders and knees covered at all times. Don't litter, don't vandalize with graffiti or padlocks on bridges. It's very romantic, but it's forbidden again. Don't feed the birds, please. They can be very aggressive if they get used to being fed by tourists. Don't buy counterfeit souvenirs from street vendors. You could be fined up to 500 euros, I think, and you could be expelled from the city for any of these behaviors, actually. Be aware of the recycling rules when staying in a flat. There are very specific days to divide the recycling, to collect the different materials, and very specific places near your flat, which the host will have to tell you about. So be aware of the rules, and this is a visual of the rules we just mentioned. Okay, now talking about the bus and tram systems. So the bus and trams connect the mainland to Piazzale Roma, the main hub in Venice, where all the bus and trams stop. The standard fare is €1.50 for 75 minutes, but you can buy a packet of 10 rides for €14, so you save a little bit on a bigger package of rides. If you ride buses from or to the airport, the fare is €10 each way, so that's a separate fare altogether.
And hold here because the reason here is that the airport is a longer distance away. When you talk about the €1.50 for 75 minutes, that's within a certain
Yeah.
area. the airport is outside of that area, so there's a different fare. It's a different bus route.
And it's not only that, it's also the fact that you are carrying your luggage on that bus, and that's allowed within the €10 fare. Now, speaking of different fares, if the bus route displays an E after its number, it means it's extraurbano, which means long distance. So the tickets could cost up to €6.90 per ride, depending on the origin and destination. And now I will show you in a minute the map so you have a clearer idea of what that means. Now, if you're using the tap to pay system, so if you're using your phone, your device, your card to tap and pay the ticket that way, remember to tap in and out when you are on the bus or tram so you don't get charged for higher fares. Now, speaking of the map, here you will find the link to this map in the description of the video. You will see the main lines of bus and trams going from Venice to other destinations. So here, where you see these aqua green destinations, that means they are extraurbano, long distance. And where you see the dotted line, also in an aqua green color, that's the limit of the city, the inner city system, let's say. So after that line, any stop after that, you will pay more than €1.50 per ride.
Now, if we look
Yes.
at the airport, this orange line, it seems to contradict what I just said. So that is contained within the Urbano range.
Yes, but it's still, if your destination or your origin is the airport, that's a separate
Still a
fare.
different fare.
Yeah. Which, interestingly, if you ride the aerobus from the next stop, so let's say from Galilei d'Arsena, then you pay €1.50.
Mhm.
So that's a small trick you can use to ride the aerobus without paying the full fare.
Now, are you suggesting somebody walk from the airport to that bus stop? Because that's probably not practical.
It's not very practical, but if you don't have much luggage and if you if you are able to take that walk, a lot of people do that actually
Okay.
to avoid paying the full fare. And the destinations you see in this beige gray color are within the city limits. So Favaro Veneto, Mestre, and Marghera are all included in the city limits, which also means the two lines for the tram, T1 and T2, which connect Favaro, Mestre, Marghera to Venice, are included in the urban city limits. So so you don't have to worry if you take the tram about tapping in and tapping out because you're always within the city limits. That said, we could speak about a lot of things about taking the bus. Let us know if you have specific questions, but in general, the tram doesn't need to, you don't need to reserve um, the stop, and you don't need to stop the tram because it stops at every stop and it opens all the doors every time. You need to hail the buses at the stop because they don't stop unless somebody hails them.
You mean waving to make sure
Yes.
they know that you're
Yeah,
there to
that
get
you're
on.
waiting for that bus. Because my experience, for example, here in the US is that the bus will stop anyway because it's so rare that somebody is actually at the bus stop that they stop anyway. You get on the bus from the front door or the very back door, and you get off the bus from the center, from the middle doors. You have to reserve your stop if you're on the bus by pressing the stop button. There is no cable to pull like in the US or Canada. Um, and any other things that
Well, we have videos on our channel specifically about arriving in Venice. So if you're arriving in the
yeah.
airport or surrounding areas, there's information on just the straight to the point. How do I get from the airport to Venice?
Mhm.
There's a video on our channel all
Yeah,
about that.
exactly. And if you have any other questions, again, we are here to answer any of your doubts. Okay, let's talk about Mostra del Cinema because we have news. So, Mostra del Cinema is the film festival in Venice, which will take place from Wednesday, August 27th to Saturday, September 6th at the Lido di Venezia. Watch our last month live stream to see the exact map of where it's taking place. And the guest stars that have been announced are exciting because they include Julia Roberts, George Clooney, Adam Sandler, Emma Stone, Bad Bunny, and many more. And here I have the whole calendar of the movies that they are going to show. You will find the links in the notes for this video. And there are a lot of famous directors and exciting new movies. There's this documentary by Werner Herzog. There's the new Yorgos Lanthimos movie, which is why we have Emma Stone coming to Venice. There is a Noah Baumbach new movie starring George Clooney, Adam Sandler, Laura Dern, Billy Crudup. I mean, the names go on and on. And as you can see from the program, the movies will be shown multiple times during the week. So if you can't find tickets for one showing, you will probably find tickets for a different one. And I'll remind you that the movie theaters in Venice and Mestre will show some of the movies in original language in their normal programming. The single tickets to see the movies in Lido at the Mostra del Cinema are on sale, and they range from 10 euros to 50 euros, which doesn't sound like much, honestly. I was surprised that it was so cheap. Subscriptions are also on sale now, and I remind you there are reduced prices for under 26-year-olds and over 65-year-olds. Also, there might be extra rides of the water buses going to Lido during that week just to help control the crowds going to Lido. All right. Other events, we have the Regatta Storica, the historical regatta. That is a major event in Venice. The regatta itself will be Sunday, the 7th of September, but there will be collateral events from September 4th to the 7th. And let me show you the presentation video that they have on the official website. The link is in the description of the video. And this is a celebration of the relationship between Venice and the sea. And there is an actual ceremony of a wedding, so called, of Venice with the sea. So it's a very traditional and uh, very choreographic regatta to see if you're in Venice on the 7th of September.
We did a live video around uh, Vogelonga,
Yes.
and we talked about where would be good places to watch
hmm
Vogelonga. And I wonder, are they the same places for Regatta Storico?
I think probably yes, because I think the route is very similar.
It looks like they're going the reverse direction
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Vogelonga.
hmm
So Piazza San Marco,
of
the
course.
San
Yeah.
Marco Basin, looking out on the water from there is a great place to
And
watch
in
it.
general, I would say the bridges on the Grand Canal,
Of
like
course.
the
Yeah.
Accademia Bridge and the Rialto Bridge, of course. So all of that area. will be a
And
good.
there is a nice area right by the Rialto Bridge.
Hmm. Yeah,
It's hard to describe, but at the foot of the Rialto Bridge, there are some bars, and you can kind of step a little closer to the canal, and there's a nice
yeah,
space where people could gather and watch there.
yeah, yeah. That's a good position. Other events, we have the Venice Glass Week. As you know, probably Venice is famous for glass making, and from September 13th to the 21st, there will be special exhibitions and events surrounding glass making, of course, in Murano, which is the main island where glass makers have their factories, but also around Venice as well. And then if you want to have some fun with your family, why not check out the Mestreland Luna Park, which is a funny name. From September the 18th to September 29th, you can see in the picture on the right, and you will find the links in the description of the video. There is a huge Luna Park in Mestre in the Via Torino area. It's an industrial area just outside of Venice, near the train station of Mestre. And there will be rides, attractions, live music, fair food. So check it out if you're in the area.
So the term Luna Park is uniquely an Italian name.
Really?
Well,
Okay.
it's not something we use in North America. So would we compare that to the county fair?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. With maybe more rides than you normally have at a county fair. But yeah,
A temporary amusement park.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. And speaking of amusement parks, not far from Venice, it's a 2 hour train ride. There's a Gardaland, which is one of the biggest amusement parks in Europe. And it's a very nice trip for a day trip with the family to check out the style of amusement parks in Italy. And I know you went for the first time last
Mm.
year, and it's an experience.
Certainly, I found the roller coasters to be a little bit more extreme than what we would have in North
Mhm,
America. Um, yeah, generally a great park and not as crowded as I would see here.
mhm.
Yeah.
Which is good. And also all the stories and the introductions to the different rides, of course, are in Italian. So it's interesting to have that experience in a different language, of course. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We have had some questions from our viewers in the last month. So somebody was asking, where can we get changed when we go to the beach? Because if you cannot wear swimwear around Venice, of course, that becomes an issue. Well, there are changing rooms, showers, and bathrooms at the Lido where we showed where the beaches are. They are all payment um, establishments, so you have to pay a fee to use the bathroom, the shower, the changing rooms. You can also rent a beach bed, a beach umbrella at one of the establishments on the beach, and that includes also the use of changing rooms and bathrooms as well.
When you say pay a fee, if I'm remembering correctly, and I might not be remembering correctly, it's you put coins into the machine as you
Yeah.
walk through the turnstile in to use the dressing room.
Yes. Yes, that should be the way it works. We are not 100% sure because it's been a few years since
Mm.
we've been there, but that should be the way it works. Is there air conditioning on public transport? S- Yes and no. The tram usually is quite good at having air conditioning working. The buses are a gamble. And the water bus, I would say definitely no.
Yeah, it's not really an issue or a question on the water bus or
Yeah.
even Ali Laguna. It's, you're generally on deck on a boat.
Mhm.
There is an enclosed area, but the door is opening and closing and sometimes left open. And
Yeah.
especially on Ali Laguna, it just generally stays open. So
And
it's
there
not
are
like
open windows. Yeah.
you're not really inside
Mm.
when you're on
Yeah.
these boats.
Yeah. And speaking of air conditioning, keep in mind that also museums often don't have air conditioning, so plan accordingly because it can get really hot still also in September. Is it safe to go to the beach? Now, this question has come up because of some recent news. Now, as you know, Venice, as all the other important cities in Europe, has a problem with pickpockets. So be very careful with your belongings when you walk around Venice, and that goes also for going to the beach. Unfortunately, even in the establishments where you rent an umbrella or a beach bed, it's not safe to all go swim in the sea and leave your belongings at the umbrella. So make sure to take turns with somebody that can watch your belongings, or a neighbor maybe of the next umbrella can help you watch your belongings. Or some establishments also offer, for a fee, of course, the use of a safe to place your belongings while you go swimming in the sea. But be very careful because pickpockets are literally everywhere, unfortunately. All right. Do we have any more
I do
questions?
not see any questions in the chat right now. Of course, you can always add more questions into the chat. We'll still get a notification and we'll be able to address them later. So even
Absolutely.
if you're not watching this live, feel free to put questions in there.
Absolutely. And enjoy your next trip to Venice, and we'll see you next month. Buon viaggio!